Tuesday, is the Mentorship Day. And tonight, we don't have a guest on the show tonight, but like we did last week, we are continuing to look at mapping Africa's natural resources. And we are looking at, welcome for those who are watching us on LinkedIn, welcome those who are watching us on Facebook at Olushola Ajide, welcome to those who are watching us, of course, on Instagram, welcome, welcome. And those who are watching us on YouTube, also welcome, welcome to the Mentors Show. It's another opportunity for us to come your way today as we map Africa's natural resources. Let me just okay. Just have our adverts and we go for it tonight. How has your day been? Tell me. And please tell us where you are watching and join us from on YouTube or on LinkedIn or on Instagram or on Facebook. Please share the link, tell other people about the show and let them come join as we delve into looking at Africa's natural resources, as we map Africa's natural resources. All right. Okay. Okay, let's see. Yep.
Strap yourself in because we're set up, switched on,
and ready to go.
Hello, welcome. I'm Dr. Olushola Ajide, your host on the Mentors Show, where we inspire you, help you reinvent yourself, and make a positive impact in your community, in your country, and on your continent. We mentor people across Africa.
Yeah.
We bring you guests with inspiring life stories who are themselves transformation agents, making a positive change in their profession and nations. Subscribe to the African Coaching and Mentorship Initiative YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
Yes. Welcome to the Mentors Show. I'm your host on the Mentors Show, Dr. Olushola Ajide. And you know how it is that on the Mentor Show is a place where we inspire you. It's a place where we give you ideas on how to reinvent yourself, how to become a new version of yourself, if you like to use that terminology. And of course, we do bring you guests on the Mentor Show. However, on the days when we don't have guests on the Mentor Show, we do this other topic where we look at mapping Africa's natural resources. In other words, we do put a spotlight on a particular country on the continent of Africa. And today we are looking at nation number 26. If you go through my Instagram timeline or my Facebook timeline or our YouTube channel, Africa Coaching and Mentorship Initiative YouTube channel, you will see previous episodes where we have tackled all nations. We've spotlighted nations like Angola, Algeria, Benin, Botswana, Burkina Faso, Burundi, Cameroon, Cape Verde, Central African Republic, Chad, Comoros, Congo, Cote d'Ivoire, which is Ivory Coast, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Djibouti, Egypt, Equatorial Guinea. We've looked at Eritrea, we've looked at Ethiopia, we've looked at Gabon, Gambia, Ghana, Guinea, and of course we've looked at Guinea-Bissau. And just last week, you remember, we looked at Kenya. And so only if you want to look at previous episodes of Mapping Africa's Natural Resources on LinkedIn, it's only last week that you can see on LinkedIn. Other episodes, we've been doing this now, the Mentor Show now has been running since the 14th of May 2020. This is our season 3 actually. This is season 3 of the Mentor Show. So we continue to bring you guests who are transformation leader, and we've been privileged to have quite diverse eclectic group of people come on the Mentor Show. We've had people like Mr. Frank Edwards. We've had people like Weird MC. We have had people like Dr. Lanre Olushola, the catalyst himself, on the Mentors Show. We've had people like Mike Abdul on the Mentor Show. We've had people like Chigirl herself on the Mentor Show. So we've had quite a series of people. You can go to our YouTube channel, Africa Coaching and Mentorship Initiative YouTube channel, or you look at my Facebook page, Olushola Ajide, or you can also go to my Instagram page. Welcome, MC Mark, comedian. Welcome. So we are mapping Africa's natural resources tonight. In other words, we are spotlighting and focusing on Lesotho. And again, at every time we have this show, we go back to try and give us a type of, if you like, a type of reason, a type of why we are doing this. Because Africa is the new frontiers. Like you see, in all the countries we have looked at, the challenges are the same on every continent. And like you rightly also know, I assume you know that the population of Africa has the youngest population on the continent in the world. 65%, above 65% of the population of Africa are under the age of 25. If you want to be a little bit conservative, you can say under the age of 20 or from 29 and below. That tells you that we have a young population. We have a young population. And if we have a young population, there's a need for us to be able to spotlight and to be able to look at and to be able to understudy and see what Africa holds and see the opportunities there. I'm not focusing. I know when we look at them, we can say there are challenges, but we say these challenges on the continent of Africa are actually opportunities. And another reason why we come on we because we mentor young people across the continent of Africa is that young people must wake up. The young people are the ones that can help Africa. So if I have a young person watching us either on YouTube, on Facebook at Olushola Ajide, or on YouTube at Africa Coaching and Mentorship Initiative, or on LinkedIn at my LinkedIn profile at Dr. Olushola Ajide, or on Instagram at Dr. Olushola Ajide, is that you know that you are the solution to the problems of Africa. And that's what the question I ask often on this show when we have this mapping Africa's natural resources. Have you discovered the problem you were born to solve? Put a comment. comment on Facebook, comment on LinkedIn, comment on Instagram, comment on YouTube. Have you discovered the problem you were born to solve? That is a critical question you must answer. That is a critical question you must answer. Have you discovered the problem you were born to solve? Because in you discovering the problem you were born to solve would mean that you need to get to work. You need to get to begin to do something. You need to get to begin to solve the problem. You need to get to work and begin to ensure that you begin to work towards it. For us, we were born to solve the problem of ignorance. And that is why we come your way every Tuesday. So follow us on LinkedIn at Dr. Olushola Ajide. Follow us on YouTube, Africa Coaching. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Africa Coaching and Mentorship Initiative YouTube channel. Subscribe to my Instagram page at Dr. Olushola Ajide. Subscribe to our Facebook and every platform. Because see, the more you know, the more you're able to achieve and fulfill your destiny. And that is what we are here to always address. That is what we are here to address. That is what we are addressing. So please comment. Thank you, Ibikia Eworima on LinkedIn. Thank you for your greetings. How has it been? It's been a long time. Thank you, Save the Woman Foundation. He has also been on our show. Thank you in Tayside. Thank you so much. Thank you for the person who commented on Facebook. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please follow us so that when we come live, you'll be able to discover all this and be able. So let's dive into it today. We are looking at Lesotho. Lesotho is a very unique country and one of the unique countries in the world, and of course, unique in being in the continent of Africa. Lesotho is also very unique. Lesotho is very unique. Please share, tell other people, invite other people, share the link, let them watch it, tell them and let them benefit from what we are saying tonight. Great. So Lesotho is a country in Southern Africa. Interestingly, among the three types of countries we have in the world that are small and landlocked. In other words, the north, the south, the east, and the west of Lesotho is within another country. And Lesotho is within the geographical space of South Africa. And Lesotho got its independence in the 1960s from the United Kingdom. And since then, they Lesotho is got its independence in the year 1966 from the United Kingdom. They were colonized by the United Kingdom. And the ethnic group we have majority of the Basotho people, and of course, which 0.3% of other people living in that particular country. The language spoken is Sesotho and English. So two languages, predominantly English and Sesotho. The capital is Maseru. And then, of course, when they are talking, it's a unitary parliamentary constitutional monarchy. In other words, where you have the king as the parliamentary leader and you have the prime minister, who is Sam Matekane, while let's say the third is the king since 1996. So this particular country um, population is 2.2, above 2.210, population, which makes them the 104th on earth based on their population. The density is about 68.1 kilometers. The GDP as of 2021 is $5.762 billion, and the per capita is $2,761. The GDP of Lesotho is a total of 2.478 billion. That's the GDP, and the country currency used is a Lesotho loti. Is what is used in that particular nation. Now, of course, the flag of the nation is three horizontal lines: the blue, the white, and the green. And of course, they have their art, the local art, which they change from. It used to be the horse and the bow but because of the geographical space, they feel that they need to change that perception, if you like, and they change it to a hat at the turn of their 40th independence. At the turn of their 40th independence. So this particular nation is called the kingdom in the skies. Why? Because across the whole earth, there's no other nation that is situated upon a high enclave, upon a high mountain, as Lesotho is. It is, some speculate, some say it's about 3,281 feet above sea level. So that's in the particular locations in some areas. So it's quite high, and the only one in the whole wide world. So that is predominantly information regarding that aspect. Now let's go to, like we normally look at, don't forget we are saying mapping Africa's natural resources. What are the natural resources that Lesotho, the mountain kingdom, has? Predominantly, this nation has two resources. Predominantly, they have water. Interestingly, Lesotho has enough abundance because of the high mountains and because of the valleys. They are able to create dams, and they have water, which in fact, the water is exported to South Africa. They have water which is exported to South Africa. And some citizens keep seemingly saying that they are suffering of water. They have so abundance of it, they are exporting it. But some citizens are crying that there's no enough water for them to drink or to use for their day-to-day livelihood. And of course, the second resources they do have is diamond. Now, it gets you thinking. If you go to all the nations we've looked at, quite every nation that we've mentioned have one kind of natural resources or the other. But the population are still in want. The population are still in penury. So in this particular nation, when it comes to the geographical space of what it has, apart from water, because they have water, of course they have some waterfalls, various parts of the the country, the that is Lesotho. Various kind of waterfalls are scattered around the country, and this uh, country, interestingly, I never knew that until I was doing the research for this, that Lesotho actually has a very virile garment industry in which they provide. America is the largest importer of the clothes that are made in Lesotho. In fact, it's said that Levi Strauss jeans also buy from Lesotho. Wow. So that is about the nation. About three-fourths of the people live in rural areas and engage in animal herding and subsistence agriculture. So, like we say, Lesotho produce 20% of their demand for food. Like I keep saying, there is a huge amount of opportunity for us on the continent of Africa. And we need young people. We need young people. We need people that would bring about research and bring about and make it their own life calling to bring about change to the agriculture sector on the continent of Africa. We need when we talk about agriculture, we need seeds that are resistant to the weather. We don't need GMO, please. GMO has done a lot of havoc, and GMO, based on the research that's been done and based on the business model of those who have created it, is actually a bad thing, because it was formulated based on economic principle. Because the GMO seed is that seed cannot replicate itself. It puts you at the mercy of the sellers and the manufacturers of this seed. So it's important to look at so we need seed, we need mechanized farming, we need tractors. And on this show we've interviewed Benny Cars on this who is in Jos in Nigeria, a young man manufacturing cars, manufacturing tractor and agricultural products. We need more of those kind of young people, because the young people are the savior, so to speak, for Africa. We need young people to rise up, to look at the various problems bedeviling us on the continent of Africa, and step to the plate to be solutions to those kind of challenges that are being faced. So that is the challenge that we have in the country of Lesotho. And like I tell you, don't look at it as a challenge. Look at it as an opportunity. If the country has diamond, well, because we human beings we have placed value on diamond stones, precious stones, and that's why is more expensive. In fact, Lesotho's diamond is not sold; is sold in the world market in Europe. It's sold in Europe. So you could see the fact that the materials, and like to other things we get in Africa, those things are not actually sold in our continent. It's taken elsewhere for sales. But we say for Africa to develop, we need to have enough manufacturing. Of course, it's good that the garment, Lesotho is known as a garment industry, but it will not help. I do hope you understand me. It will not help because those people are only just being employed to work. That's all. There's no, of course, it will bring some money back to the nation, but if you look at it in a bigger picture, it does not actually really help. It only puts food on the table for those who are working. On the long run, what is the product that the nation is manufacturing or selling apart from water and diamond? So it's important to look again on the continent of Africa, to look again at the opportunity of creating new products that will meet the needs of people currently, even on the continent. So this particular nation is part of the South African Development Community group, and which is a regional block in there. So also other things that Lesotho also exports are, apart from clothing, are furniture, footwear. While the main imports are manufactured goods and foodstuff, machinery. So they're importing machinery and transport equipment. Those are some of the things that this nation imports. So let's look at the education on this. In fact, it is said that Lesotho is one of the nations that is on what is called twinning program. In other words, Lesotho is connected to another nation in Europe based on agreement, and because the nation wanted to help during the famine period, so they are twinned together with Wales, and they share. When you are twinned with a nation, it's more like you become a twin. What does twins do? They share identity, they share resources, they look out for each other. So that kind of arrangement is between this nation called Lesotho because and the nation of Wales, whereby they perhaps that might have influenced the education and illiteracy rate of this nation, the Lesotho as a nation. So the adult literacy rate of 15 years and above for Botswana. Sorry, not for Botswana. Apologies for Lesotho. Because I did a training on Saturday for for Botswana. It was a good one. I know you have seen the flyer on my page, in which we empowered in human capacity development and training for young professionals, mid-professionals, and advanced professionals. A career masterclass that was done on Sunday rather, for these people in Botswana. And if your country, if you are interested that you want that a career accelerator masterclass should be executed for your nation, send me a DM. Send me a DM. In fact, if you want to see testimonials, you can go to my website, olusolaajide.com, and see some of the testimonials of the people we have helped to accelerate their career, that now they are doing excellently well based on working with us. So that would is just to mention that. So the okay, it's 8677. I presume the 86 is for what gender and 77 is for what gender? Good. All right. If you have any question, let me know. Just we are monitoring this live. Put it on the either on LinkedIn or Instagram. Good evening, Becky, or on Facebook or on YouTube. If you have a question, let's have it. We'll look at the question and be able to. But don't forget the question I asked him. Why were you born? Why were you born? Your ability to answer that question would lead to your fulfillment in life and your, if you call it satisfaction, it will lead largely to your discovery of why you were born. It is said that Lesotho spends a higher proportion of its GDP, which is 13%, on education than any other country in the world. An average child in Lesotho can expect to spend 10 years of their life in education. Education is compulsory in Lesotho between the ages of 6 and 13. Secondary school education is non-compulsory. I just think that education is a right, and everybody should have a privilege and opportunity of going to school, of attending school, attending and going to school. So education is a right that every child must have. Either they be female or male, whichever way. And because there is a need to stop the, what can I call it? The paternalistic approach of education in which men or some group of people prescribe what they think should be the knowledge that some people should have, and change to that aspect of a collaborative way of discovering what people want and delivering that to them. So that's education in the country. Now, when it comes to the issue of health, when it comes to health in this particular country, of course, I told you, life expectancy, I mentioned about the issue of population, about 2.2 million. Life expectancy is about, in 2019, is about 54. Very poor. So there's everything we can do as a people and as a continent to put an end to these doldrums of backwardness, despite the huge, tremendous materials that are available on the continent of Africa. So we've seen that. We've seen that. So what's of the area of the of the health, we've alluded to it earlier that quite a lot, extensively, a lot of people in sorry, I want to put again. In Lesotho, we have young people because of the preponderant nature of AIDS and HIV and tuberculosis, because it has one of the greatest highs. So where are the young professionals? Where are the young people that work on these problems and solve it and bring solution? We need saviors in the terms of medical scientists who can discover and deliver and trust the Holy Spirit to give them an idea and the test that it works and bring about deliverance to people who are sick on the continent. The HIV/AIDS prevalence rate in Lesotho is 25%. Between the ages of 15 and 49. The second highest in the world. Can you imagine that? In 2020, the TB case is that 650 cases per 100,000. Interesting. So all this kind of lifestyle and all these kind of health issues are not supposed to be on the continent of Africa, and that is why you were born. And if you say, okay, I'm not from Lesotho, yes, I agree you're not from Lesotho, but in the country where you are born, there are problems. And you can begin to address those problems. You can begin to look out for problems where you are based and begin to address these issues and bring those people succor by your intervention, by your involvement. All right, so we are gradually drawing to a close. I was talking about the health, the agriculture, the education, the life expectancy of all these nations. So it's important that we consider all these nations and look at where and how these nations can scale up in their experience, in their in every area. You get the point. So that they can scale up. All right. Is anyone there who want to ask a question, either on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, or on taking the mic? Anybody has a question? Taking the mic to be our guests. MCID 16. Are you still there? Good evening. I don't know if it's yourself or Jesse Efata who is still there. Okay, so if there are no questions, that is us done today. Strain and looking at the country of Lesotho. So this country has a lot of potential. It's a very cold country. That's one of the smallest road networks in the world. And you can understand why that is, because of the mountains, the high mountains that it has. So it has one of the smallest road networks in the world, but there's a lot of opportunity. So all the things we've discussed today about this nation are opportunities for you and I, either to invest in diamond, and I know as a person, as a champion of sustainability, even though I have some concerns about sustainable mining, particularly on the continent of Africa, in which the mines are operating, we are digging out. Are we mining, and is the mining in a sustainable way that will help the future, help the future of the future, that will jeopardize the future of the future of the of coming generations? How are we mining, running the mines in a way that will not jeopardize the future? And I would don't know solution to it. When you, after you have excavated, there's a huge hole left. Here in Aberdeen, where I am based, there's a Ruby's Law quarry where all the quarry, the stones and everything they use to create the whole city, to build the whole city, and of course part of the parliament in London. So there's a huge hole left. How sustainable is that? So these are things that need to be revisited, of how sustainable, and there's no way we can solve this problem without young folk, young people coming on board to look at a particular problem and see how they can solve that problem. All right. Thank you very much for those who are with us today. Please share this session on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and across every platform you are able to. Share it and let other people benefit, and know that there are opportunities on the continent of Africa. There are opportunities in Lesotho. There are great opportunities, and there are great opportunities not only in Lesotho. If you say I'm not from Lesotho, in your country also there are problems, and those problems are opportunities that could be changed. So thank you very much for your time today. I appreciate your time and your session with us. Stay with us today. All right. So that's us done. I'll come your way. We have a guest, God willing, next week Tuesday. We'll come away with our guest on the Mentor Show. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye.